How's it going, folks? Jack here. Well, pre-intro Jack, you know me. It's like a whole different person. Today is the first of 2 uploads. That's the first bit of news, and the next episode in this series will go up when this video hits 2,000 likes. Yes, that's not a small target, but I have faith in you to go out there and make the difference. So scroll down, hit the like button. As soon as this episode hits that target likes, we'll have the second episode up. If we don't hit it, don't fret. The episode will be up in about 8 hours' time from the time that you're viewing this. Hopefully you're enjoying the series. Hopefully I see you throughout this episode, and indeed the episode later. And, well, Future Jack, run the intro. What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to Park to Prem here with Tallow Town. Today it is episode number 35. No, it's not. It's episode 85. That's a slip of the tongue. We're just going to roll with it. You might be wondering, Jack, why is 35 on your mind? Why are we on Mr. Dessa's profile? Why is the title called £35 million bid rejected? I mean, it doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to work this out. Yes, Mr. Dessa had a £35 million transfer bid from Norwich City in January, and I rejected it. And last episode we talked about transfer stuff. We're going to talk about that more today. Today is going to be one of those episodes where I perhaps focus a little less on the game since you were last here and more on what's been going on over January. But I didn't sell him. And the reason for not selling him is I didn't have an alternate right back lined up on deadline day when this offer came in. He's homegrown at club. I don't think he's replaceable. We don't necessarily need to sell him, at least right now, and I couldn't get a sell-on fee kind of percentage agreed with Norwich, which was unfortunate. I couldn't get a loan back agreed. That might have swayed me to sell him. And I just feel like with how this year's been going, I don't want to sell a player who's been a key part of the first team in January. You know, come the summer, slightly different predicament. You know, if we're going up and getting promoted, it's not the end of the world. I probably wouldn't sell him then. If we don't get promoted, suddenly £35 million seems a bit more significant. But yeah, I have had a big issue just in general with signing new players. We'll come on to that in, you know, a short period of time. But we really have felt the effects of the fact that we have rocketed through the leagues here at Towlaw, and we just don't have the pull of other clubs. We can't get, you know, I guess big players to join us. That's kind of a sad reality of where we're at. Anyway, you might notice here, little side note, hot prospect at the club is now Antimo Inangi, who is currently on loan at Accrington Stanley, and he looks like a very good centre-back at 18 years old, signed for £21,000 from Foggia. That's definitely not how that's pronounced. First half of the season he was at Salford, second half of the year he's now gone to Accrington Stanley. Keep an eye on him, I suppose, but yes, the media at least, or at least the game, thinks he's our key player in terms of youngsters right now. So, in the league, we've played 9 games since you were last here, and we've also played 1 cup game. Again, doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to work out that the 1 cup game means we did lose it. We were taking on Premier League opposition. But yes, you can see the results here, and you may notice just in general, considering there's 10 matches here, there's only 4 green circles. Yes, it's not been a great run of games, and this has been a run of games where we've not played too many big teams in and around us, which makes the results even more disappointing, I suppose. So anyway, following on from the Middlesbrough game last episode, we got a 2-0 win against Swansea, Shuttleworth and Molyneux with the goals, and we followed that up with 2 1-1 draws. The first against Barnsley was pretty disappointing, Dylan Turnbull with a goal there, and then against Stoke, another 1-1 draw. This one, a little bit less bad, I suppose. Stoke are a team competing for the playoff spots this year. Great to see a big attendance for us again. You can see 6,000 fans attended this game, and only a quarter of them were away fans. So I do feel like our home fan contingent has actually grown during the year as well, which is great to see. But in this game, you've seen the goals now. Johnson got them off to a flyer. Molyneux got us a goal, but that was all she wrote. We then took on Fulham in the FA Cup, a 2-1 defeat. Disappointing, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it. If you were wondering, Fulham in this save game are a Premier League team. They currently sit in 18th actually, but they've been playing in the Premier League the last 2 years. They have a good team. Wasn't entirely surprising to lose to them, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things, particularly considering it was a midweek game. There was some weird fixture scheduling stuff going on there, but yeah, we I can't talk. We bounced back well, unlike my talking. It's hard to talk sometimes, everyone, because we beat Oxford 8-1. And, well, you can see here, Shuttleworth got 5 goals. He broke the record. We've never had a player score 5 goals in a game. The previous record was 4. So Russell Shuttleworth, who prior to this game I think only had 3 or 4 goals, Yeah, five in a match. I feel bad for Oxford. They are bottom of the league. They are the league whipping boys. It makes the fact that we only beat them by 2 goals, last time we met them, a little questionable perhaps. Anyway, off the back of that win, I was thinking we're gonna be great here. This is where we now find our groove. One confidence building win, we're gonna go on a run, and as you can see against Brentford, we didn't have a good start. They got a couple of goals. First through Garcia, Lee Hugill then grabbed another, and with just 25 minutes gone, we found ourselves on the ropes. We were rocked. We were just in all kinds of trouble, to be honest. They were causing us a lot of issues, and defensively we weren't looking good. Shvetsov got us a goal right at the end of the first half, and that kind of, I suppose, gave us a glimmer of hope, a glimmer of a chance. And while Mr. Dessa gave us more than a glimmer with his thunderous effort, he only got his first ever senior goal for the club earlier on this year. I think that's his second or third now, but this has been the best goal he's scored in his career so far. Lovely finish by the right back. And then we got a third goal in this game through Alex Blesser, a rebound from a Shvetsov shot that cannoned off the woodwork. But we couldn't find the breakthrough beyond that, and you'll notice when you look at the stats in the bottom left of this game, we were the better team, we were massively on top, we had them on the ropes, and we continued to attack, and we just couldn't take another opportunity. 3-3 is how it finished. It felt like a weird kind of defeat in my head, just because of the way it had gone and the fact we hadn't been able to complete the comeback. But make no mistake, to come back from 3-0 down is a very, very good little achievement. We then took on Charlton. A 4-2 win there was very good. Again, Shvetsov getting on the score sheet. And you'll notice in this list of recent games that ever since we played Stoke, Molyneux has not scored for us. Molyneux has stopped scoring and we've stopped winning. That's kind of the issue that we've had as of late. And, that is kind of, I guess, epitomised by the game that we had against Derby County away from home. In this game, an early set piece was conceded by us. Set pieces we have had a few issues from, so that's something to be wary of, I suppose. We then did get a goal through Shuttleworth in the 51st minute, so I felt immediately like our team talk had done wonders. And then I told the players, get very attacking. We need a goal in this game. We need a win in this game. And we got a goal via Dylan Turnbull. A lovely little finish by him. At that moment, I switched back and I went from very attacking to positive, everyone. I abandoned my philosophies, and of course they scored 2 in 2 minutes. The first was from Joel Siddons, a long-range effort that tucked into the bottom corner to make it 2-2. And then Oliver Burke, within about 60 seconds, there was no gap in between in terms of highlights, scored another long-range effort. Maybe Smolio could have done a little bit better, but it was heartbreaking. 3-2 it finished. Derby not doing very well this year, which made it just difficult to take. I'm wincing thinking about it. It just wasn't a good result. The good news is since then we've had 2 better results, I suppose. The first, a 4-0 win against QPR. A good little bit of revenge, considering you might remember we lost a really good run of form to a defeat to them where we lost 3-1. In this game, Kosic and Turnbull with the goals. And then most recently, a 2-2 draw against Leeds United. Shvetsov with 2 very late goals. Actually, when you look at it, all the goals were late. He had 1 late goal that won us the game, but we took the lead in this game. They got a goal from the penalty spot. Barry put them a goal up. I went very attacking. We needed the points. Shvetsov rescued us 1. And with that all said and done, this is how the league looks. Today we take on Portsmouth. It's actually a later kickoff, which I didn't realise until I got to the kind of match day stuff. And you'll notice here that Bristol City have kind of pulled away a little bit, but they have lost in their earlier kickoff against QPR, who have, as of late, recovered quite well. Now, they have 11 games left of the season. We have 12. A win here would put us within 5 points of them, and we do still have Bristol City to play, which could turn into a huge, huge fixture. They have now lost 2 on the bounce as well, although you can see our form hasn't been particularly good. Meanwhile, Burnley at the top of the league continuing to pull away. Middlesbrough, who started the season superbly, down in 10th now, really gives you an idea of how quickly things can change. A win here could also be a bit good in terms of just, putting us more comfortably in the playoffs. A win here would see us pull 8 points clear of 7th place QPR. We have got to be wary of the fact that Pompey, who we take on today, with a win, could close the gap to 1 point behind us. So this isn't a freebie game. This is a difficult match for sure. And, we talked about the fact that Molyneux has stopped scoring and we've stopped winning, and that's definitely been a trend. He is still the league top goal scorer with 19, but recent performances haven't been superb. And, you might have noticed a striker missing on the squad screen. I don't know how you would have noticed it because we've not been on this screen yet. And that's because in January we did make a sale. And that sale if we just have a quick look, was Michael Roof to St Mirren. Obviously, this guy played a massive role in the team last year, but we've got some very, very good young strikers, and the opportunity came in from St Mirren, who offered us over £700,000. It felt like too much to turn down for him, which might seem bizarre when I've now just, previously talked about rejecting a £35 million bid. But he just hasn't been playing for us. He's just not good enough. We've got better youngsters coming through who need game time. Players like Eric, for example. So I did let him go. Another sale of note is actually Zach Gannon, who went to Leyton Orient. A good servant at the club. Zach Gannon joined us way back when we were in the National Leagues. Is homegrown at club, but just isn't good enough for this level, sadly. You can see, even since he's been signed by Leyton Orient, he's yet to actually play for them in the league. In terms of other transfer stuff, so Mr. Dessa had an offer for him of £35 million, which I rejected. Another player who had a big offer for him was actually Vinko Kosic, who had an offer from Wolverhampton Wanderers of £12 million. I felt like it would be silly to sell players in January with how the season's going, because I'm just not going to be able to replace them. I really have started to feel the effects this year of the fact that with us rocketing through the league, we just don't have a good reputation. I think I can have a quick look at English club reputation here. I think there's a way we can look at it. I'm trying to now remember the screens I have to navigate to. Is it club list? Yeah, so you can see here rep rating, right? So you have all the Premier League teams at the top. That's kind of not surprising. Then Championship teams. You can see we are sat here. We have a lower rep than 8 League One teams, and that really impacts our ability to attract players to the club. We don't have massive money. We don't have big reputation. We don't really have a lot of pulling power, and I really experienced that in January. I talked about, wondering, should I go for broke? Should I really push for Premier League transfers? The sad reality was there weren't Premier League quality players out there to sign. In the end, we just settled for a load of youngsters who we'd already agreed to sign joining us. So just to recap these, Joe Webb, 18 years old, has joined us from the New Saints. Good little playmaker, one for the future perhaps. Another player who joined us, another youngster who's English, Eric Dale from Celtic. At 18, I felt like it was a quite good buy for the price. We'll see if he can live up to the potential that he has. But at less than £250,000, it feels like a good deal. And also Vincent Bussey, that's definitely not how you say his name, but we'll just call him the Bus. You can see here, 18 years old, good little playmaker in the making. He's actually really well-rounded as a deep-line playmaker for an 18-year-old. So maybe one for the future has a little bit of potential. I'm hoping that goes up a little bit and it's just a misjudgment by our staff, but that feels a little unlikely. In terms of pre-transfers, I did make a few agreements. Do I want to cover these now? You know what? We'll cover the new ones now. So, Adrian Rodriguez is joining us. I'm very excited. Free transfer in the summer. He will join us. He doesn't have a work permit, though. Yeah, that's it's not ideal, but he is only 18. We'll probably loan him out, but one for the future. We had our eye on him last year, so it's nice to finally be able to sign him. And we also made a few transfers from Nice. So Roderick Arendelle has joined us, a right-back, 17 years old, will join at the end of his contract in the summer. A little bit of a punt for the future, but a player with some good potential in the eyes of our scouts. And also Mosnier, who is another Nice player, and a very Nice player indeed. He can play centre-back, great determination, great leadership, good jumping reach, and a bit of potential about him. And you know what? For freebie transfers who are coming in for nothing, I feel like they're reasonably good. We did also make one other pre-agreement. That was with this guy, Moreno. No, it's not Alberto Moreno. It's a better player than that. This guy, one for the future, bit of a punt, but signed on a freebie. This is what we do at Towlaw. We take a bit of a shotgun approach to things. We just kind of shoot our shotgun and hope that we hit one or two good young players. And it has worked out pretty well for us. In terms of players going out, we had so many transfer bids over the transfer market period, and the big player who attracted a load of interest was Matasevic. He has improved so much since we last looked at him just a couple of episodes ago. It's actually bonkers, this guy's development. I am so excited by how good he is. But he did request a transfer, and he has only got 2 years left on his current contract, which does concern me. You can see here some massive, massive clubs wanted him. Arsenal, Liverpool. I don't want to let him go, folks. I don't feel like we need to sell him. Maybe if it gets to the summer, we start to panic a little bit more with 2 years left on his contract. I'm hoping that this is just a little phase that he's going through and he'll grow out of it. You can see he's already started to pick up the centre-mid position really well. I talked a couple of episodes ago about the fact I'm training him to play box-to-box midfielder. I don't think we'd ever actually play him as a box-to-box midfielder. I think I would end up playing him as a roaming playmaker. That begs the question, Jack, why would you then train him to play box-to-box midfielder? And the simple answer is, box-to-box midfielder helps with stuff like finishing and aggression, which are two kind of glaring weaknesses in his game that I would like to see improved. You can see there is subtle differences between what a roaming playmaker and a box-to-box midfielder entails, and it basically comes down to the fact that I would much rather focus on the little slight differences that box-to-box midfielder works on, such as just the tackling ability. He's already got very good marking, and just to help him be complete as a player, I feel like just training him as box-to-box, even if I'm not necessarily going to play him there, is the way to go. He's developed very well, he's taken to his new position well. I'm very excited, but yeah, do be aware, teams are interested. It has been a little bit of an ongoing problem. But all in all, things have been going well. You know, the results haven't been flawless by any means, and it has felt a bit of crap, to be honest, just to be falling behind Bristol City, because Bristol City, like ourselves, a team massively overperforming. They were predicted to finish 10th in the league. You can see they have been stuck in the Championship forever. Last year they finished 7th, so just outside the playoffs, and from nowhere they've had this one breakout season. We really need to continue to apply the pressure to them, you know, really keep breathing down their neck. A win here puts us within touching distance. As I said, we do still have to play them. Next episode we're going to do a double header of Bristol City and Crystal Palace. That will be coming your way later today as well. So lots of episodes. We're doing a double day. I know you guys love these. I get reminded about it every day during the week whilst I'm working, because I'm still working at the moment, despite everything going on in the world. But yeah, later today, those two games. So, you know, drool a little in your mouth if you need to, because I know it's very appetising. But right now, we've got to focus on Portsmouth. Right, shall we get into this? In terms of a little bit of team stuff, I guess, just to have a look at the overall starting 11, I talked about the fact that Molyneux's not been playing well recently, and as a result, I've been playing Shvetsov and Turnbull. You might remember, in last season's end-of-season review, I always do a little prediction for the year. My prediction was that Shvetsov and Turnbull would get 30 goals between them this year. They're currently on 26, which, when you consider there's still a lot of football left to be played, makes me feel good about our prediction. I really love how many goal scorers we've got. We've got 4 players in double figures. Shuttleworth also has 9, 5 of those coming in one game. But yeah, there really hasn't been an over-reliance on an individual in any real element of our game, which is really, really positive. You can see Mr. Dessa's chipped in with 2 goals and 4 assists. He's been doing well at right back. And actually, across the board, the average ratings are looking very, very solid right now. In terms of our starting 11 for today's game, you might have noticed one slightly unusual name. Needham is going to have to play left back. Yes, left back is a bit of a weird position for us, but Reyes, unfortunately, is suspended. He's actually been putting in some good performances lately. He did have a little bit of interest in him as well over January from a few Premier League teams, which was interesting. But with his suspension, we're going to bring in Needham, who you might look at and go, he's not a Championship quality left back, and you know what? You're probably not wrong. But to be honest, when we've had to play him at left back, he's done actually really well this year so far. A 7.13 average rating. Hopefully he can do the business for us. Smoljo is back in goal. Sorry, Will, but your stint in the limelight is over. And as I mentioned, we're going to be changing things up with Shvetsov and Turnbull playing up top together, which I really, really like as a partnership. Shvetsov lately has really started to improve as well. We have so many striking options. I talked about the fact that we have let Roof go. Of course, we've got Eric as a breakthrough striking option. Currently training him to play out on the left. I've done this with a few players, but I feel like it is just worth making him as versatile as possible. The fact he can already play out on the right means to train him to play out on the left isn't going to eat too much into his current ability. And I just feel like it's worth doing just to make him versatile. I'm not entirely sure if he'd ever be my out-and-out striker. You know, with 11 finishing, 12 composure, 12 off the ball. Lacking a little bit there, but with good first touch and very good kind of pace and overall work rates, I just feel like he's a player made to play on the wing. So that's been a training focus there. And I have also promoted Bravo to the first team. He's not actually played for us yet in the league, but he will get opportunities before the season's up. But with this guy coming through, it made sense to move on Roof if we just compare the two of them. I've actually lost Roof, I think, because I've looked at so many players. But I want to do this comparison because I think it's worth doing just to kind of add context to how good some of the youngsters we have coming through are. But yeah, if you just compare Bravo here with Roof, not as well-rounded for sure, but in terms of as a 4th or 5th choice striker, it just makes so much more sense to, you know, give the 18-year-old at least a brief opportunity if the chances arise to play him. And also Roof at 27, not going to be showing massive, you know, development. and it was nice to get a little bit of money for him, I suppose. So anyway, shall we get into today's game? I've already kind of bigged it up as this big important match. The team kind of picks itself. This is a squad that we've largely settled into as of late. I guess the big changes at left back and up top that we've already talked about. Sacco and Dazelle doing very well in the midfield. Andre Dazelle still the best average rating in the entire league, but Shuttleworth really has made that right-hand side his own. Still can't get over the fact he scored 5 goals in one game to set the Towelaw record. I never thought we'd see that record beaten by, I guess, Shuttleworth. It felt like an unlikely duo, but it was one of those games where everything he touched turned to gold in that 8-1 win. Granted, I guess when we take on a team like Oxford, you kind of have to expect us to spank them. But anyway, let's see how we get on going into this game. A win here would close that gap on Bristol City to 5 points. With us knowing that we've still got to play them, I would feel like it's not impossible to catch them. If we can't win here, suddenly, you know, that gap looks a little bit bigger, and we kind of go into that double header next episode knowing it's a bit of a long shot. So let's see if we can get a result here. We need to get some wins. We have been struggling. I know that people are going to say, Jack, why did you not spend big on the defence this year with all the transfer stuff that I talked about previously? And it comes down to the fact we just couldn't attract players. If there had been some amazing centre-backs, some amazing left-back, I probably would have pulled the trigger and done the deal. But they just don't exist. And I'm not going to spend the money on a player that I'm not convinced is a longer-term investment. At this point, we're looking for players who are going to be good enough to play in the Premier League in a year or two. Otherwise, there's not much point in signing them. If we don't get promoted this year, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. You've seen how young the team is. We've massively overperformed this year. If we could get a miracle promotion this year, it could actually end up being quite damaging to us in terms of we will probably come straight back down. I will have to sign a load of new players potentially, and that will remove first-team opportunities for youngsters. There is a weird part in the back of my brain that says, Jack, you don't want to get promoted this year. You know, one more year in the Championship and you'll walk it. And that voice might have some logic to it, but the Championship is one of those leagues where you can get stuck in this league for a few years. If a good set of teams get relegated and perform well, you're in trouble. And of course, that's just a persistent, you know, I guess, question mark that I have. And given where we are right now, given the fact that we are, you know, third in the league, at least right now, we can't drop from third, I guess, even if we had conceded there, but we're third in the league. We have to kind of fully commit to the idea that we could get promoted this year, which is what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to spend beyond our means to make it or break it. It's not like we've got an old squad and we have to get promoted this year, or we have financial fair play breathing down our necks. Ultimately, we're not a club that is going to be completely damaged by being stuck in the Championship for another year if it doesn't work out. Anyway, Shvetsov down the right side. Turnbull is in the middle. Can he pick him out? He can't. Might get another chance though. Turnbull's there! And that is why Molyneux's not in the team right now. These two guys, they've got an understanding. They've got this weird wavelength that they share. I can't quite explain it. But Shvetsov, wearing the number 24, gets the ball in it the second time of asking, and Turnbull just heads it back across goal. Keeper no chance. We find ourselves a goal ahead. There hasn't been a load of chances in this game, but you can see here, Portsmouth yet to have a shot on target after 40 minutes. This has been a very good start to the game. We've got them on the back foot. We've got them on the ropes, I feel. And, well, hopefully that can continue into the second half. I'm going to go with the typical work the space. I'm not happy and get the players fired up. I don't want them to, you know, settle for anything less than perfection. And 1-0 is not perfection, everyone. 4-0 against Burnley at half-time might be pretty close, but we need to step it up here. Shot is blocked initially, might not be fully away, though. We need to save this, and, well, Smoljo is there to get his whole body behind the ball and scoop it up. A little bit of a warning shot in our direction, perhaps. And Portsmouth on the attack again. They've come out for this second half with a bee in their bonnet, a point to prove. Lopez on this left-hand side, now with Abbey, who cuts inside and hits it across the face of goal. That was a little bit scary. Sacco's not had a good game at box-to-box midfielder, so you know what? I'm going to make an early change here. We're going to bring in Alex Blesser, the young Spaniard, a player who has cropped up with a lot of goals and had some pretty good, impressive performances on off the bench. Not your typical box-to-box midfielder by any means, but he has that creative spring in his step that we definitely demand with our system. Similar to Dazelle, really just has a crazy passing range, and I feel like we can maybe utilise that in this game as Mr. Desta lumps it forward. Shvetsov then nods it on and, well, doesn't do a great job of getting it under control. And it's Portsmouth in possession again. And ever since the half-time break, they have come out looking much, much better. Although a goal here could maybe take the wind out of their sails if we could get it. Needham plays it down the line. Of course, a bit of a makeshift left back today. Now with Alex Bless, who threads through. Well, I thought he was going to get it through to Dylan Turnbull, but he didn't quite weight the pass correctly. And now we're on the back foot again. Abbey with it on this left-hand side. Switches it over to Mahoney. Down this right-hand side he goes. Don't foul him. Crosses it back post. Lopez is there. And Miguel Lopez nods it in. Applauds himself. Goads our fans a little bit. I don't like that. I also don't like how poor we have been so far this half. Just caught a little bit out of sorts there. I mean, Lopez at the back post, all on his lonesome. Mr. Dessy, you feel like, has to pick him up. Before I can even make any tactical changes or complete our shout, we have a chance to save, and what a save that is by Smoljo. Oh my word, that was insane. That was actually insane. Right, I'm going to make a bit of an unusual change here. We're going to move Shvetsov to left inverted winger, and then we're going to bring in Molyneux up top, and that is going to see Kostic, who's not performed well today, come off the pitch. It has been a change that I have experimented with, is both playing Turnbull out on the right and Shvetsov out on the left. I wouldn't say either are naturally inverted wingers by any means. They kind of lack that creativity that you need in the midfielder. Oh my gosh, Turnbull, another header. Do I still want to make the tactical change? I think I do. Shuttleworth with the assist. Turnbull with another header to put his 2-1 up. But yeah, just going back to that point, you know, I have experimented with Shvetsov and Turnbull playing out wide as inverted wingers. And you might say, well, why not just play them as inside forwards? And the reason is I don't really like the inside forwards in this system. The inverted wingers do a really good job of applying pressure on deeper defensive mids when we're out of possession and also tracking the fullbacks. I feel like you lose that a little bit with the inside forwards. Anyway, we need to defend this here. That is lumped clear. But can Shuttleworth get to it? Of course he can. And now he's going to launch the ball forward to Molyneux, who should be fresher off the bench, as should Blesser, who could go on his own, does go on his own. Oh my words, Wildsmith forced into a save. That could have been a stupendous goal for Blesser. Still a set piece. We've been pretty lethal from these. Dazelle to whip it in, but can't even beat the man at the near post. What is that? Professional footballer can't get the ball past the near post. It's like watching under-12 football, you know, where you move to the full-size pitch and you've not got strong enough legs to actually get a corner into the box. Anyway, 10 minutes left in this game. It's been pretty even. I know Portsmouth have had more shots and they perhaps had the better opportunity in this game, but both teams have had chances. I would say they started this half hot, but since we've made our tactical changes, we've looked good, and there is the tactical change working wonders. Pat on the back for myself, and that is Shvetsov with a goal. Turnbull with 2 in this game means that between them, they're 1 goal away from my 30-goal season that I predicted for them. Lovely ball by Dazelle to switch it. I'm not sure what the keeper's positioning is in truth, but Shvetsov punishes him. 17 goals for the season. Man, imagine if he'd had a work permit for the last 5 years. How good would he have been? I think 5 years is an exaggeration. I think it's 3 or 4 years that we had him without a work permit. But how good could he have been? Would he have been? Well, we know how good he is now, and he's very, very solid. Anyway, well, 3-1 up, I want to relax, but as is the Towler way, we will probably concede now to make it 3-2 with less than 10 minutes left as Abbey comes down this left-hand side, and Ivan Cabrero, that's a great name, gets a goal on the volley, and Smoljo, I don't think we can blame him for that. He made a fine save from that set piece earlier. Very nice finish. Abbey down this left-hand side, plays it inside, and then just on the volley, oh, he gets a hand to it. Smoljo, could he have done better? Probably not. I feel like, given the fact he got a hand to it, you kind of wish he'd done a bit more. Interestingly enough, we're straight into another highlight. Don't make this a quick double whammy. Dazelle switches it over to Shvetsov. What can he do out on the left, the Russian? Cuts inside. Hit that! Oh, I thought he was going to bend it into the far bottom corner. But it does go narrowly wide of the mark. Wildsmith now with it. Short goal kick. There is highlights galore to end this game. I get this weird feeling this game might not finish 3-2. Head now with the ball. Can he use his head to pick out the right pass? Of course he can. Now with Jepson. Abbey down this side again. Shuttleworth needs to track his man better. Needs to track it. Right, we're dropping you back deeper, Russell. He is sat to mark their left back, I'm sure. He is. So why are you not marking him? Unless they're playing with wing backs. In which case that doesn't apply, which is always a little bit annoying. I don't want to discard the changes. I want him to play deeper. because he's not got the pace. That's my logic. He's not got the pace to run back into position. Lopez, oh no, don't do this. There's no tactical change even happened yet. Cabrero shoots wide. Oh my word, I can't deal with this, everyone. I was about to go positive and then a highlight started. Dazelle whips in. Shvetsov near post. Breathe a sigh of relief, everyone. That's the 30 for the season for the new duo. We'll stay going positive, though. Makes sense. Andre Dazelle whips it into the near post. This time, I mean, technically, he didn't even beat the man at the near post this time, but Shvetsov was there to get on the end of it. It's 4-2 and another highlight's begun. My word. Shvetsov's going to want a hat-trick, I suppose. I don't feel like that's what's going to happen. Abbey bringing it forward. This time Shuttleworth blocks it and it falls to Addons. If I don't move Shuttleworth deeper, he probably doesn't block that into the path of Che Adams. That feels unfortunate. It's 3-2 now. As a reminder, last time we played Portsmouth, it finished 5-4. I didn't think we could match that, but we're getting a little closer minute by minute. It's all because I switched to positive. I'm going back to attacking everyone. You can't talk me out of it. We conceded as soon as we didn't stick to our guns, as soon as we changed things up. The good news is, we're going to hold on eventually. That was 4 goals in the last 10 minutes, but 4-3 is how it finishes. A good win, boys. Well done. We needed that. And with that, we do now close the gap. You can see on Bristol City, 5 points. And we do have a lot better goal difference. And we know we've still got to play them. And that, as I mentioned, will be coming up later today in the next episode. So that's exciting and definitely worth keeping an eye out for, of course. But anyway, you can see here, Antonio Mohamed having a look at Mr. Dessa. Less of that, please, Antonio. Mr. Dessa, he's attracting interest, and I don't know how to feel about it. Let me know, folks. Would you have taken £35 million for him in January? I feel like we'll get a similar bid in the summer if we have to sell him. That's kind of another reason why I didn't let him go. But let me know, would you have done it? Wouldn't you have done it on deadline day? Not being able to loan him back, not being able to get on a percentage of next sale, not being able to find a replacement. Would you have done it? Was it too much money? I wonder if I'm going to live to regret it. Maybe I'll live to relish the fact I didn't make the sale. We'll never know. He could be hoisting a Champions League trophy in 10 years' time, and we'll look back at it and go, wow, that was a bullet dodged, but hindsight's a wonderful thing, and we won't know for another 10 years if it was the right or wrong move. But anyway, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. Fantastic win for us. We needed that. We've been on a little run in terms of winning run in live comms over the last 3 or 4 episodes now. Hopefully that can continue later today with the games against Bristol City and Palace. Hopefully I see you guys for them. 2 huge home games. And yeah, thank you for watching. It's me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.